Hello dear students, I am Miss Asuda. Today I am going to talk to you about how to use the comma. As you see, this red mark is a comma. It is a comma. What is a comma? Comma is a punctuation mark indicating a pause between parts of a sentence or separating items in a list. Comma is a punctuation mark indicating a pause between parts of a sentence or separating items in a list. Okay, dear students, let's see where do we use commas. We use commas first in dates. They are used in between the day of the month and the year. Number 1, we use comma in dates. They are used in between the day of the month and the year. Number 2, in between the names of cities and states. Number 3, in between the words in a list. Number 4, in letters. Number 5, in compound sentences. Number 1, commas with dates. Commas with dates. Commas are used in dates. Let's see how do we use commas in dates. They are used in between the day of the month and the year. They are used in between the day of the month and the year, which means that we put a comma in between the day of the month and the year. As you see the examples, the first one we have January 11, 1998. We put a comma in between the day of the month, which is 11, and the day of the year, which is 1998. The second one, February 9, 2019. As you see, we put a comma in between the day of the month, which is 9, and the day of the year, which is 2019 or 2019. The third example, April 14, 2020. As you see, we put the comma between the day of the month and the day of the year. The day of the month is 14 and the day of the year is 2020 or 2020. Number 2, commas with cities and states. Commas with cities and states. Commas are used in between the names of cities and states. It means that when a name of a city and a name of a state appear together, we put a comma in between the name of the city and the name of the state. For example, California and New York. California is the city and New York is the state. As you see, we put a comma in between California and New York because California is the city and New York is the state. Taos, New Mexico. Taos is the city and New Mexico is the state. We put a comma between Taos and New Mexico. Denver, Colorado. Denver is the city and Colorado is the state. You can see we put a comma between Denver and Colorado. When the names of cities and states are in the middle of a sentence, a comma goes after the name of the state too. It means that when there are names of cities and states in a sentence, the name of the state should be followed by a comma. For example, the plane stopped in Baltimore, Maryland to get more fuel. Maryland is the state and it is followed by a comma. Maryland is the state and it is followed by a comma. And these are the answer keys. Number 3, commas in series. A series is a list of words. Use a comma after each word in the series except the last word. It means that when we have a list of words, 3 words, 4 words, 5 words, we use comma after each word except the final one, except the last word. For example, Dad bought carrots, tomatoes, peppers, and apples. You see, we use comma after carrots, tomatoes, peppers, but we didn't use comma after apples because it is the last word. The second example, Lina's sisters named Lara, Lana, Kate, and Jessica. We didn't use comma after Jessica because it is the last word. Number 4, commas in letters. In a letter, a comma follows the greeting and the closing. For example, Dear Mr. Max. This is the greeting, and here we have your friends. Your friends. Your friends is the closing. So you see, we used comma after the greeting, which is Dear Mr. Max, and we used comma after the closing, which is your friends. And this is the answer key. Number 5, commas in compound sentences. A compound sentence is made up of 2 smaller sentences. The sentences are joined by a comma and the word and or but. And is used when the sentences are similar. It shows addition. And shows addition, and it is used when the sentences are similar. But the word but is used to join sentences that express opposite ideas. For example, Lara went to the store. She bought some markers. We have 2 small sentences. Lara went to the store and she bought some markers. You see, we used comma and the word and to join these 2 small sentences. The second example, bats sleep during the day, they are active at night. Bats sleep during the day, they are active at night. Bats sleep during the day, but they are active at night. You see, we used the word but and comma. Why did we use the word but? Because the sentences expressing opposite ideas. This is the answer key. Dear students, that was our lesson for today. Hope you enjoyed. Have a great time.